Hello everyone, it's xBundok here, and today we're going to do the last bit of painting to finish up the boat, not necessarily customization. So, we are going to start with our figurehead here, and for her we're going to do it similar to how we did the ship. So, again, I wanted it to look like wood that had been painted that might have been chipped away. So, instead of starting out with the color, I decided to go with a base coat of the same leather brown that we used for the rest of the ship. You can see here I'm thinning it out. I want the dry brushing to still show through. I want it very thin, so it adds, again, it's just kind of like an effect layer, if you will, for whenever we go to get the next pieces of color on here. But I mean, this is the piece that really pulls the whole ship together. So of course I saved it as one of the last things I do because I wanted to make sure that, Sophie looked awesome. So yeah, we're just going to get that brown coat on. I will not do a wash, any sort of wash like I had on the deck or the sideboarding of the ship, just because she wouldn't have had that. It would have just been the flat wood and then some color. So for said color, we are going to be looking at some reds and blacks and purples, along with the white, like a basic white linen colored shirt. So we're going to go through our colors here for Tusk Ivory for the shirt. These are going to be our flesh tones. And there you go, that gem purple and heraldic red just kind of pop against each other. And for this, we're going to use a similar method of going down and dry brushing the larger parts, and then using our regular brush just for the smaller pieces that we might not be able to hit with the dry brush. Now, I am exceptionally happy with the effect that the dry brushing gives. I think it, again, gives it that weathered look. I did have to go back and do just a little bit of color correction where, obviously, with the dry brush, sometimes you kind of go over the area where you want to work, and that's just fine. But if that's what you're looking to do with this piece or a similar piece on your ship, versus having the pops of color, I suggest giving it a try. It ended up working out pretty well. All in all, I think the ship ended up great. Like I said, there are some things that I need to do to customize it a little more, but that's going to be much, much further down the line because it is things that are not inherently exclusive to the ship. So I would like to, put in false panes, like get plastic sheeting to do little panes in the windows, or possibly even, so on the decks, on the underside, it is recessed up, and that one, get like one of the miniature LED boxes to put lighting in there. So a lot of things that aren't inherent to the natural build of it. And so that might not even be my next consecutive video. It'll just be down the line. There might be a little bit more development on it. But the end of this video is the end of where I'm at with the ship so far. So hopefully some other folks that are looking to paint Sophie's ship can find someone to paint along with that didn't drop out after one or two videos. like I said before, now we're going to go back in with our regular brush and hit pieces that maybe we want a little bit more paint on, want them to pop a little bit, or that we couldn't reach with the dry brush. And for that, just keep it thin on the brush, thin it out with water so that it still gives a bit of that transparency, that translucent effect. It still gives the same effect as the dry brushing, just in a bit of a smaller scale. But I think, she's looking great. I think, again, this is the piece that really pulls the whole ship together. A lot of this boat is one color. Even if I did the decks a different color, it would be 2 colors. So there's not a lot of variance. So I feel like this project is definitely learning how to work in one color, how to make things interesting, even if it's a giant slab of just, a monochromatic nightmare. That and just making sure everything's symmetrical. But I think this is a great larger terrain piece to be interactive with your players to start with. There's not too many variables. It does get dull because you're kind of painting the same thing over and over, but it's a great fixture for the table, and overall it's not a difficult paint. It's just a long paint. Alright, so now we're going to look on the detailing on the outside of the cabin. You can see here I try to dry brush it. I realized it's going to be too much overshoot, so I just ended up doing it with a regular brush, which I thought the dry brushing would have been faster, but it's just not going to be effective. So my other half actually wanted it just to be the same color as the ship, and I'm like, I kind of want it to pop just a little bit, so I ended up going with a deeper red, a muted red, so it's brighter when it's fresh, what we're painting on here. So actually when it dries, it is a lot more dull and it feels a bit weathered, which is kind of what I think he's going for with the entirety of the ship. So all of the, I'll call it filigree work, even though I'm not sure if that's what it's termed, but it's what it makes me think of. All of that I'm going to be doing in this red color. And then I only recorded this little bit. I didn't record the full detailing of all the filigree or the accents. So there are mermaids on the back of the boat that I didn't record, and they were just a basic, blue, green, and skin tone, and the lantern is, metal. Nothing, you can see it over to the left there. There's nothing crazy or overly exciting about that. So all in all, with the detailing, there wasn't a whole lot to record. It's all very straightforward, just picking a color and getting on the entirety of the boat. So I apologize if the content's just a little lacking for this video, but it is what it is, right? And so here is our finished boat. Like I said, it's a lot of one color, but that's kind of how we wanted to do it. And for what we're looking for, I think it came out very, very nice. It's going to be an excellent piece for the table. I can't wait to get all of our players into it. Even if you're just going with the regular basic colors for a ship, it comes together nicely. You can, of course, do something much more sideways if you like. You can do any color. You could paint the sidewalls, you could change the decks. But overall, this is a great piece to have for the table. Bonus points if you find it on sale like I did. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. I really enjoyed painting this. I doubt I'll have something similar too much near in the future, but if I happen to find another boat, maybe there'll be another boat. So if you guys enjoy the content, like and subscribe to come back for more. Please leave any comments on suggestions of, what you may have done if you had your own Sophie's Revenge. And as always, take care.